What's up guys, Nashti here and welcome back to my channel. On this vlog episode, we'll be rounding up 2020 budget smartphones with hole punch cameras or punch hole displays. So basically, these are smartphones with a front-facing camera contained in a hole punch instead of a bezel or a notch or even a pop-up mechanism. What's the purpose of this? So why do smartphone manufacturers release something with hole punch cameras? For one, it offers more screen real estate compared to its notched counterparts. Another possible reason is to, of course, eliminate the top bezel. But regardless of the reason, I think it's mainly aesthetic. Well, it looks more futuristic as opposed to notched displays, which are so 2018 or 2019. Although another issue that could arise with hole punch cameras is the symmetry, because they're not really situated in the middle. They're either on the left or right side. But regardless of the reason why it's there, the purpose of this vlog episode is for me to show you some budget smartphones sporting such hole punch cameras. So I'm sure you want to find out which smartphones I'm talking about. Let's not wait any longer. Let's get down to business because it's about to get nasty. Here are the 2020 budget smartphones with a hole punch front-facing camera. Let's start off with the Huawei Y7P, which comes with a 6.39-inch IPS LCD of HD resolution. It runs Android 9 Pie with EMUI on top with no Google Play services. It has an octa-core Kirin 710F chipset with 4GB of RAM and 64GB of expandable storage. It has a triple camera setup with a 48MP primary camera with face detection autofocus, coupled with an 8MP ultra-wide-angle camera and a 2MP depth sensor. It also has a hole punch 8MP front-facing camera. It also has a 4000 mAh battery with 10 watts fast charging support. It has a 3.5mm jack, an FM radio, and a fingerprint scanner. However, it comes with a dated micro USB 2.0 port. The Huawei Y7P retails for 8,999 pesos. The next smartphone on our list is the Infinix Hot 9, which packs a 6.6-inch IPS LCD of HD resolution. It runs Android 10 with XOS 6 on top and is powered by an octa-core MediaTek Helio A25 processor. It has 4GB of RAM and 64GB of expandable storage. It has a quad camera setup with a 16MP primary camera with face detection autofocus, a depth sensor, a macro sensor, and a low light sensor. It also has an 8MP hole punch front-facing camera. It has a 5000 mAh battery with no fast charging, but has a 3.5mm audio jack, an FM radio, and a fingerprint scanner. It also has the dated micro USB 2.0 port. It currently retails for 5,990 pesos. Another Infinix smartphone making the list is the Infinix Note 7, which comes with a 6.95-inch IPS LCD of HD resolution with Gorilla Glass protection. It runs Android 10 with XOS 6 on top and is powered by an octa-core MediaTek Helio G70 processor. It has 6GB of RAM and 128GB of expandable storage. It has a quad camera setup with a 48MP primary camera with face detection autofocus, a depth sensor, a macro sensor, and a 2MP dedicated video camera. It also has a 16MP hole punch selfie camera. It comes with a 5000 mAh battery with 18 watts fast charging support, 3.5mm jack, an FM radio, dual speakers, a fingerprint scanner, but has the old micro USB 2.0 port. The Infinix Note 7 is priced at 7,990 pesos. Up next is the Samsung Galaxy M11, which sports a 6.4-inch PLS TFT display of HD resolution. It runs Android 10 with One UI 2.0 on top and is powered by an octa-core Qualcomm Snapdragon 450 processor. It has 3 GB of RAM and 32 GB of expandable storage. It comes with a triple camera setup with a 13-megapixel primary camera with face detection autofocus, a 5-megapixel ultra-wide-angle camera, and a depth sensor. It also has an 8-megapixel hole-punch selfie camera. Its 5000 mAh battery on board supports 15 watts fast charging. It also features a 3.5mm audio jack, an FM radio, a fingerprint scanner, and a USB-C port. The Samsung Galaxy M11 retails for 7,490 pesos. Now we have the Techno Spark 5 Pro, which is a dead ringer of the Infinix Hot 9. In fact, both Infinix and Techno are from the same group. The Spark 5 Pro packs a 6.6-inch IPS LCD of HD resolution. It runs Android 10 with HiOS 6.1 on top and is powered by an octa-core MediaTek Helio A25 processor. It has 4 GB of RAM and 64 GB of expandable storage. It has a quad camera setup with a 16-megapixel primary camera with face detection autofocus, a depth sensor, a macro sensor, and a low light sensor. It also has an 8-megapixel hole-punch selfie camera. It comes with a 5000 mAh battery with no fast charging, a 3.5mm audio jack, an FM radio, a fingerprint scanner, and a dated micro USB 2.0 port. Its price starts at 5,999 pesos. The last entry on our list is the Xiaomi Redmi Note 9, which packs a 6.53-inch IPS LCD of Full HD resolution protected by Gorilla Glass 5. It runs Android 10 with MIUI 11 on top and is powered by an octa-core MediaTek Helio G85 processor. It has 3 GB of RAM and 64 GB of expandable storage. It has a quad camera setup with a 48-megapixel primary camera with face detection autofocus, an 8-megapixel ultra-wide-angle camera, a depth sensor, and a macro sensor. It also has a 13-megapixel hole-punch selfie camera. It has a 5020 mAh battery with 18 watts fast charging support and 9 watts reverse charging. It has a 3.5mm audio jack, an FM radio, a fingerprint scanner, a USB-C port, an IR blaster, and a water repellent coating. Its price starts at 7,990 pesos. I have here a comparison table of the 6 smartphones with hole-punch selfie camera. Starting off with display and resolution, the Redmi Note 9 leads the pack with its Full HD display, the only one to come with a Full HD resolution. As for OS and chipset, the Redmi Note 9 is also the leader with its MediaTek Helio G85 processor. Among them, it's only the Huawei Y7P that doesn't come with Android 10 on board. For storage and RAM, the Infinix Note 7 takes the top spot with 128 GB of expandable storage and 6 GB of RAM. As for the cameras, the Infinix Note 7 and Redmi Note 9 are also on the lead with the quad camera setup and a 48-megapixel primary camera. In fact, we can even add Huawei Y7 to the list because it also has a 48-megapixel primary camera. For battery and charging, again, it's the Redmi Note 9 and the Infinix Note 7 on top with their more than 5,000 mAh battery and 18 watts fast charging support. The 6 smartphones are priced near one another, and as you can see, all of them were released in 2020. For this comparison, it was an easy win for the Xiaomi Redmi Note 9 as it offers the most features at an unbeatable price. If you want a larger display, although of a lesser resolution, with more RAM and more storage, then you can opt for the Infinix Note 7. So as you can see guys, there's not really much difference between smartphones with notch displays or hole punch cameras. It's a matter of preference. If it's something that you really like or you think it makes you look cool or it makes your phone look futuristic, then go ahead and get a smartphone with a hole punch camera or punch hole display. And of course, I hope you learned something from this vlog episode. So thank you so much guys for tuning in. If you enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing and like the notification bell. Only here on the channel where Nashty is nice. I'm Nashty. Till then.